Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. Today, another episode in our wide world of food and one of our favorites. This is our 5th empanada episode. Now, empanada is very popular through Central and South America. Every country, every region has their different take on it. But originally, empanadas came from Spain, and that's what we're going with today. A Spanish empanada. Now, the primary meat in this Spanish empanada is Spanish chorizo. Most people in the United States are more familiar with chorizo fresca, which is uncooked chorizo. Most of the time it is pork, it can be beef or veal or whatever basically, but it requires cooking. It's raw meat mixed with a bunch of spices. Spanish chorizo comes cased and cured and is absolutely fantastic and a totally different taste than the chorizo from Mexico. As always with empanadas, you have a ton of options. You can make your filling days before you're ready. You can make your filling and then stuff your empanadas and then chuck them in the refrigerator or freezer until you're ready to cook them days later. Now, we're going to have empanadas tonight. So here I am in the morning, I'm going to prepare the filling, then I'll get it in the refrigerator until about an hour before we're ready to eat. Then I'll start making the empanadas up, and then it's a quick 3 to 5 minute fry in the deep fat fryer, and you have a fantastic meal. So let's get it going with that filling. All right, here at the stove, I got my biggest cast iron skillet here ready to go. We're going to put that on medium-high heat, and then add about 4 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, all of the ingredients and their quantities and the instructions to make this fantastic meal are down in the description below. So this being our 5th empanada episode, it's obvious that we love empanadas. What is your favorite empanada? Let us know down in the comments. I would love to give it a try. Okay, the oil's heated up, so now we're going to add our 2 pounds of Spanish chorizo. We're going to let that cook for 2 to 3 minutes until it starts rendering the fat in here, which is going to be fantastic flavor for our vegetables. All right, that fat's rendering pretty good. Now it's time to add the garlic. We're going to add the garlic, stir it for about 40 seconds, and then add some more ingredients. It's totally up to you how much you like garlic. The recipe down below says 8 cloves. We really, really love garlic. So I'm going to put an obscene amount in here. Get that all stirred up. Suck up some of those fantastic juice from these sausages. I'm going to turn the heat down to about medium now. Now in goes our onions and peppers. They're basically cut the same way into thin strips like this. These we're going to cook until they're soft. It's going to take about 7 to 10 minutes. All right, it's all been cooking a while. Now we're going to add some seasoning. About a teaspoon or so of salt and pepper. About a teaspoon of Mexican oregano. About a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. And a couple bay leaves. And we stir. Now we're going to add about a half a cup of some dry white wine. Oh, that smells amazing. We're going to allow that to go for about a minute or two, and then we're going to turn the heat off, get the pan off the stove, get this into a bowl, and get into the refrigerator until we're ready to make the empanadas. Let those flavors meld together. All right, it's time to put these together. So what I have here is a couple chicken seeds. We're going to crack these into a bowl and whip them good. Not going to really whip them good. We're going to beat them. Different song. All right, so the same as the other 4 empanada episodes we've done, I am not making my own wrappers. I am going with, by far, the most prepared one, the Goya brand. So we get our wrapper out, get a spoonful of our filling in the middle, Get our little fingers into our egg wash there and go around the outside, the perimeter of our wrapper. And we're going to fold that over. Gently pressing it together as we're getting our filling back into the empanada so we can get a good seal. And then using our trusty fork, go ahead and crimp it all the way around. All right, empanada number 1's done. We'll get a second one done and then cook them. And there you go, a pro tip. It's easier to rub the egg wash on the perimeter before you put the guts in there. And it's a fine line, it's a delicate balance. You don't want to put too little in there, but if you get too much in there, you're not going to get a good seal. And then, especially if you're frying these, chaos will ensue. You don't want that. If you're baking them, that's going to be a little more forgiving. As we said and tried in earlier episodes, you can bake them, you can air fry these, but I'll tell you what, the flavor of deep frying them, to me, is just superior to the other two. And after we decided we had a love for empanadas, we did go out and get one of those little hoobie-doobies where you could put your wrapper in there, stuff the middle, and then bring it together. But what I found is it makes the seam too big, so you get less in there. So though this is a little bit more work, once again, it's well worth it. If you're not using a handy-dandy fryer that has temperature control and you're doing it in a skillet, make sure you get your oil up to about 375 degrees or so before you put your first empanadas in there, because once they hit the oil, temperature is going to lower. You don't want it much lower than 350 to get that awesome outside. So these are ready to go. My fryer's at temp. So I'm going to get these into the oil and fry them for about 4 to 5 minutes. No, we aren't, because I had a rupture. Now it's ready. About halfway through your cook, give them a look in case they do something silly like float up to the top and one side doesn't get cooked as well as the other. If it does that, just gently flip them over. Hey, while we're waiting for those to finish, if you're liking what you're seeing, hit the like button. That's what it's for. Hit that subscribe button. Never miss one of our episodes. All right, as those empanadas that I made cool down before I try them, I just had an epiphany. And probably 99.7% of you people out there that have made empanadas like this before already had this epiphany. But the Goya brand pre-made empanada wrappers are separated by these plastic sheets. Well, keep that plastic sheet on there, and it's going to help you manipulate your wrapper and fold it over, and it makes life a lot easier getting these sealed. Like I said, you all have probably already figured that out. I just did. And also, when you want to transfer it over to a parchment paper-lined baking sheet, it's very easy. All right, that's enough of learning what everyone else already knew. Now, let's give one of these beauties a try. How is the Spanish empanada going to match up to the ones we've done before? The chicken empanada, the traditional Argentine ground beef empanada, and then those crazy ones we made with the Seattle-style dog and the smoked chicken ones. Let's give it a try. Oh. It's definitely a different flavor than those other ones we had made because they had the green olives in there. So that definitely gave it a difference in flavor. But I'll tell you what, these are damn good. You will definitely want to give these a try. So as always, thank you so much for joining us today. And until we see you next time, fair winds and following seas.